Hey, Slater Crusaders, this is my all-time favorite Jordan Peterson clip. It only has 6,000 views. I don't know how that could possibly be, but let's make sure we are aware of it. So again, quick background. Professor Azarad made the point, concentric circles, personal responsibility, that's in the beginning, in the middle, and then it goes you, family, community, country, world, human race, and your responsibility decreases the further away you get from the center. You have to work on yourself first. Progressives work from the outside in, and it doesn't go well. So this is a perfect example of this. So Jordan Peterson, he's in Australia, and this woman is asking this question, and she's bringing up these huge societal issues. The climate catastrophe, she calls it, right? Global warming, all this other big things. And she's criticizing Peterson because she says he has too simplistic answers for complex questions. She's like, listen, you've too much talk, Jordan Peterson, about personal responsibility over things that are impossible for individuals to have responsibility over, right? So from her perspective, like Jordan Peterson keeps going on and on about personal responsibility, but we have a climate catastrophe on our hands, right? So this is a huge issue that I can't have any effect over as a single person. So you can see how she's so focused on the outer circle, right? She's thinking about the human race, in this case, the planet, which I guess is even like the next circle maybe, but she's thinking about this huge issue and dismisses even the concept of that inner circle of personal responsibility. I think we have a little bit of her question here.
Things that are well out of our control. So I want to know, what is your answer to young people for some of the really big problems facing humanity, like the climate catastrophe, like economic crisis, like the precarious job market? Because I just don't, you talk all this much about individual responsibility. Most of us are never going to be able to afford to have all of these assets to have responsibility over. So what is your advice beyond banal comments like clean your room?
Oh, I love it. Things out of our control, right? I love this idea that at the end there that she says she doesn't have enough things. I don't have the resources even to have enough things to be in control over. I don't have anything to be responsible over. That's what she says. So of course you have things that you are responsible over. Of course you are, starting with yourself. So she's denying even the existence of that inner circle of personal responsibility. Amazing. And Jordan Peterson's first answer is, those things you mentioned are not as far out of your control as you think. Actually, his first answer is essentially, it's hard to answer a question, or it's hard to answer an insult politely, calling everything I say banal. But anyway, she rewords it not much better, and then Jordan Peterson finally gets after it here.
Do you think you're worse off than your grandparents?
I think that
Jordan, once again, we're not going to cross-examine our questioners. So try answering the question about collective responsibility on climate change, for example. Pick one part of that, because the argument, I think, is that individual responsibility does not change the climate, does not fix the problem that needs global collective responsibility. So I think that's the core of the question. Do you have a theory about that?
Well, fundamentally, I'm a psychologist, and my experience has been that people can do a tremendous amount of good for themselves and for the people who are immediately around them by looking to their own inadequacies and their own flaws and the things that they're not doing in their lives and starting to build themselves up as more powerful individuals. And if they're capable of doing that, and then they're capable of expanding their career. And if they're capable of expanding their career and their competence, then they're capable of taking their place in the community as effective leaders. And then they're capable of making wise decisions instead of unwise decisions when it comes to making collective political decisions. I'm not suggesting in the least, and have never suggested, that there's no domain for social action. I'm suggesting that people who don't have their own houses in order should be very careful before they go about reorganizing the world, which happens in many ways.
Can I just...
I love her smug, who are you? Where your reaction to that is, oh, no. Nope. Nope, 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 nope. Are you kidding me? Wow. That was deep and insightful. I want more of that. Like, subscribe, get more.